Hello, my name is Ashutosh, and today we are going to discuss about quantitative reasoning of GRE. So in GRE exam, there are two subjects basically that you know. One is the English, other is the quant. So in this video, we'll be talking about what are the different question types there in the GRE quant, what are the different topics that we have to study, and we'll also understand what are the important things that we have to take care, and what are the assumptions and all that we have to take care while attempting the quant section of GRE exam. Now, when we talk about the test pattern of the GRE exam, you can see now it is going to for only 1 hour and 58 minutes, okay, in which there is now only one writing section, which is a kind of analysis section, okay. So in this, you have to analyze an issue, which is a task given, which is the analysis task, and for that you have been 30 minutes allowed, okay. Now in verbal and quant both, you will be getting two sections, one with the 12 questions, other with the 15 questions. For the respective timings are given in the verbal section, 18 and 23 minutes. For quant section, 21 to 26 minutes. So this is the pattern for GRE, for overall GRE exam. Okay. Now you have to understand the analytical rating section will be always the first section in the test, while the four sections of quant and verbal will be in any order, like any two quant sections will come together, or one quant and one verbal. It could be like that. Okay. So this is the exam pattern of the GRE. Now we'll moving forward towards the questions type that we'll be getting in the quant section of the GRE. Okay. So in GRE quant section, you get basically two types of questions. One is quantitative comparison question, where you have to compare the two quantities. We'll understand with the example also. Other is known as the problem solving. So in problem solving, we solve the question and we give the answer. While in quantitative comparison questions, we don't solve, we just compare the two quantities given over there. We don't solve and get the actual number, actual answer. Okay. But in problem solving, again, there are three types of questions are there, which is multiple choice questions. So MCQ with one correct answer, MCQ with more than one correct answers, and numeric entry questions. In MCQ with more than one correct answers, it is possible that we'll having a minimum of 3 options. Maximum it could be 8 or 9 options also. In numeric entry, you don't have any option given. You have to solve the question and then you have to get the number as your answer. Okay. In MCQ question with one correct answer, you're getting 5 options. So you have to select one of the correct options from there. So these are the question types. Now we'll move forward towards the understanding what are the different types. First, quantum question. As you can see, there's one question, two quantities. You don't have to solve, you just have to figure out which quantity is greater. Okay, it's not necessary that you solve and you get the exact number, but you just need to compare whether these two numbers are comparable or not. So if you understand that quantity is always greater, then your answer is A. For quantity B greater, answer is B. If you find that both quantities will be always equal, then the answer is C. But if you find that there could be a difference in the answers, like for some numbers you are getting A greater, for some number you are getting B greater, in that case you have to select the option D, which means the relationship cannot be determined from the given information. When we talk about the MCQ with one correct option, you can see there's one question given, 5 options, you have to select one of them, and that's the correct. When we go with the MCQ with more than one correct answers, in this you'll be always getting this written as indicate all such integers, right? Indicate all such values, all such numbers. So it's like all that apply question. Okay. You have to select all the answers which are correct. In case if you're selecting more answers, like let's say if out of the 6 options over there, only C and D are correct, but you are selecting B, C, and D, you are getting wrong answer. If you are selecting only C, again you are getting wrong answer. So if you want to get a score for this, if you want this to be evaluated with the correct score, you have to make sure that you select only the option C and D, which is correct. I'm just giving an example. This is not necessarily C and D as correct option. So it's just an example that you have to select only those answers which are correct, neither extra nor less. In numeric entry questions, you have one question given, you have the this box given, you have to solve the question, you write your answer in the box which is provided over there. When we talk about the syllabus of the GRE, firstly we have arithmetic, we have algebra, we have geometry, we have data analysis. Arithmetic is all about numbers. Number system is a very important part over here. Then percentage, ratios, and all that you are getting based on the numbers. Algebra is all about the equations, linear equation, quadratic equations, absolute value, roots, and exponents, everything. These are all a part of the algebra. When you talk about geometry, geometry is something where you have to deal with the lines, angles, triangles, and all. When we talk about the data analysis, where you have questions based on the stats and the charts and the tables, box plot, and everything. Okay. The important part is in GRE, you don't have the advanced level topics such as the calculus, trigonometry, logarithm, etc. These are not tested in GRE, so you don't have to worry about those topics which are kind of difficult topics that you may find in your classes 11th and 12th. So those topics will be not asked. Most of the questions that you are getting in the GRE quant section is based on your understanding and that you have learned in the class 6 to 10 only. Okay. Everything is from there only. You just need to learn the strategy, how exactly we have to tackle those questions, how exactly we have to attempt those questions. You just need to learn the basics. That is very important. The basics are very important because most of the questions are based on the basics, and trust me, most of the students have their basics not clear. Now, when we talk about some of the assumptions that you have to make while you are solving the questions in the GRE quant section, firstly, all the numbers used are the real numbers. So if you are getting your answer as an imaginary number with the I, it's not the correct answer. So you should not go with an answer which is not real number. All the figures are assumed to be lie in a plane unless otherwise indicated. So if there's any figure given, you have to assume that that lies in the plane only. Geometric figures are not necessarily drawn to the scales. So if you are looking at a figure and seems that it's a kind of a rectangle, it's a kind of right angle triangle. So the numbers and all any kind of measurements that you see and that you read there and you find that okay, this could be a kind of right angle, this could be a kind of equilateral triangle because it's looking like that. So you don't have to assume based on the given figure because geometric figures are not necessarily drawn to the scale until unless it's written over there. However, the lines shown as a straight are actual straight. Points on the line are in order as shown. So if there's a line given, you have to understand that if it's a straight line given, you have to assume that this is straight line only. If the points on a line are given, so you have to understand that the order will be same. So let's say there's a line and then first point, second, third point are there. So this is the assumption that you have to make, that the lines are in the certain order which is given, which is visible over there. All geometric objects are in relative positions as shown. So let's say if there's one object given here on the left side, on the right side, and or if the two objects are combined, so you have to make sure, you have to understand, you have to assume that those whatever is visible like that we can understand, but you don't have to assume any kind of reading, any kind of number, right? The following are drawn to the scale. You can read, estimate, or compare the quantities and data values by sight or by measurement. So a few things are there that you have to assume that they are drawn to the scale, even if it is not written over there in the question. Okay. Otherwise, for geometric questions, you might find that it has been written that the figures are drawn to the scale. So if it is written, you have to assume that. If it is not written, you don't have to assume by yourself. So if you have the following things like coordinate system in the xy plane on the, and number lines. So for that, you have to assume that this is drawn to the scale only. The graphical data presentation such as bar graph, circle, and the line graph. If it is given that it's a circle, it's a bar graph. So you have to understand, whatever the graphical data is there, graphical informations are there, they are given, and you have to make sure. Let's say if the two bars are there, you have to compare the height. So that comparison you can very clearly make based on the site. So whatever you read over there, you can do that measurement and you can do that estimate or the comparison of the two quantities which is given there in the XY plane or the graphical data presentation such as the bar graph, circle, and the line graph. So these are the important points that you have to know about the GRE quant section when we talk about the question type, when we talk about the syllabus and the kind of assumptions that we have to keep in our mind while solving the questions based on the GRE quant section. So these are the things which are important for you to understand. We'll be again coming back with another kind of information which is required regarding the GRE and even the GMAT exam in the next videos. Thank you so much for watching this. We'll meet again in another video. Thanks.